will the virtuous Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đà lạc, tất chân vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suche Doye Ula Hudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tạng Đắc Tha Tô Già Đa Gia La Hơ Đê Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng she wei miao fa bai jie Wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jie wen de shou chi, yan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Jingliang, Venerable YongHua, Venerable left home people, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Hòa thượng Thanh Lương, Hòa thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 27th of February 2021. We are gathered together to continue discussing the preface to the Avatamsaka Sutra. No holds barred, so ask any questions you like, and don't expect us to be able to answer everything. But this is fun. This is a very challenging sutra to investigate. Okay, right now we are on slide number. Oh, can't see it. 153. The context is that the preface written by the Venerable Jingliang says that if this is on slide number 46. If you face with the difficulties, you have two choices. Okay? You can quit or you can hang in there and fight. If you quit, tough luck. Better luck next time. And you keep fighting, then you have a chance to leap to the echelons of the 10 grounds. In other words, difficulties are opportunities. Losers quit, winners keep going. So far, so good? So let's go back to 153. What are the 10 grounds? This is why we're doing this. This is the promised land, if you will. Okay? You go through all this hardship. You put in the hard work. You make sacrifices in order for a chance to get here. And this is why we're teaching you Mahayana. We want you to get here. Don't settle for less. Now you encountered Mahayana. Make a resolve, make a vow. Oops. To get here. The 10 grounds. If not, you miss the boat again. Okay? And it's all up to you. What are the 10 grounds? The 10 grounds, as I said, are the promised land. This is where Moses wanted to take the Catholics. But he forgot to tell them that eventually they have to get here to make it worth a while. What are the 10 grounds? The 10 grounds are something that you will experience yourself. And you know. Okay? It is something that cannot be faked. What is it? When you get to this area, you have to break through these phases of experiences. These grounds are places where you will be. You will feel at home. When you break through this area, this promised land is called ground number 1, or the first ground. And it's called the ground of happiness. Why is it called ground of happiness? Many of you will experience this wonderful experience that you will find out for yourself. I will not describe it for you, okay? But you know something happened, okay? To put it precisely, something happened. It's kind of cool. And because of that happening, you feel for the first time in your life so happy. Happier than anything you ever experienced before. Happier than getting a promotion, getting a job you want. Happier than finding the true love of your life. Happier than graduating from college. Happier than getting admitted into the university program that you want. Happier than having your first child. Happier than that first kiss. In other words, whatever you find, people find what the people define as happiness in their lives. All of those experiences will pale in comparison to the very time they will cross the boundaries and enter this thing called the ground of happiness. And this happiness here is the happiness of enlightened people. And this is not something you wish on your worst, what? Ex-wives. Not funny. I'm full too. Okay? If you, to your worst enemies, your arch enemies, wish they will never experience this. Okay? They don't deserve to experience this. Okay. So, this is the only time where we Mahayana people use the word happiness. Notice that. If you learn Chan or Son, do Son people, hey, Korean people, what happened to the old Koreans? Oh, they're not here. They're in Korea. Do Son people, Son teachers tell you that learn Son and be happier? Okay? If those teachers talk like that, it's not Son. It's not Chan. Because authentic Chan, authentic Son, would never use the word happy. Happy is not in the vocabulary of Chan. However, only in the Avatamsaka world, okay, you will notice we use the word happy. The rest of the Buddhist sutras, you remember the Vasha Sutra? Huh? Anyone remember Vasha Sutra? That sutra about enlightenment, about... Is that enlightenment? Yeah, I think so, yes. Huh? Does it ever use the word happy? Yeah, Green. You read it?
I've never seen the word happy in any Buddhist writings or sutras.
That's right. Except for this Avatamsaka Sutra, where we have something called the ground of happiness. Because it is truly a feeling of happiness. You feel blissful and wonderfully happy. I highly recommend it. And you can get there by Son, you can get there by Chan, not by Zen. Okay? You can get there by reciting a Buddha's name. You can get there by reciting mantras. You can get there by reciting sutras. Okay? There's so many ways to get there. But when you get there, it's called wonderful happiness. Not just happiness. Actually, it's a wonderful happiness. not regular happiness that people of the world know of as the happiness that people have from buying a new car. From getting elected president. Well, wait, that's not very happy nowadays. Okay. Questions? Yes, Green.
Why would they call it happiness? And not use happiness in the word happy in any other writings? Does it have to do with something about happiness being fleeting? But if that's the case, then why would they have happiness right here?
That's a good question. I never thought of it that way. Okay, let's talk about happiness from a worldly perspective. The happiness from the worldly perspective, okay, is a combination of inside and outside, okay? We're happy because something happened outside, like we're getting a gift, we won the super lotto, okay, and so forth. And a combination inside where your mind feels happy. So far, so good. So this happiness of people of the world depends on two things, inside and outside. Yes? There's some crazy people, sick people mentally. They say they're happy because it's all inside. There's imagination. There's not happiness, right? So happiness, and from a worldly perspective, is depends on this happy feeling inside wells up because of something outside. Agree or disagree? It's not imaginary at all. Okay? Like you recall this recollection of the time that you spend with your childhood friends, the time you get to see your best friends, the 知音 in Chinese. This is happiness of this connection you have with someone. Yes? You see, the happiness that we know, people of the world know, is based on inside and outside. So far, so good? And this happiness of the ground, of the first ground, okay, is also inside and outside. That's why it's called happiness. By the way, that's the first time I have to explain happiness that way. So it's a work in progress. Bear with me. If you disagree, it's okay. I'm still working on it. Agree or disagree? Those of you who've been to the ground of happiness, don't raise your hand. Just ask yourself, agree or disagree? This happiness here on the ground of happiness is based on inside and outside as well. Inside, what's the difference? What's the difference? Don't raise your hand. Those who raise your hands are not there yet. Go ahead, raise your hands. Yes, Green.
Well, I was just assuming maybe it's because you're happy that you finally gotten to the ground, you've gotten to the 10 grounds of the bodhisattva.
I told you, the people who raise their hands don't know what they're talking about. And those who know what I'm talking about would not dare raise their hands. It's a private thing that we only know and we can't talk about it. Because when you talk about it, it's like you lose your magic. It's no longer efficacious. the happiness becomes fake. Okay? But let me tell you, this happiness here of the ground of happiness is also inside and outside. That's why it has to be called happiness. Well, I'm beginning to like my explanation more and more. You will not find this in a dictionary of Buddhism. I just made it up. So take it with a grain of salt. It's not real. I'm just making it up because I feel like it. Jewel Mountain Temple has a question.
Jewel Mountain asks, when you reach first ground, are you always happy?
I'm coming to that. I'm glad you asked the question. They're listening. They're not like you, sleepy after lunch. So I'm trying to wake you up, but it's not working. The ground of happiness, you experience this happiness, okay, that is so profound. The happiness of worldly people, happiness, is only in your head. That's why sickos, mentally sick people, they can say, I'm happy, because they convince themselves they're happy, intellectually. Okay? But these enlightened people, this happiness they experience is every single hair pore. They're happy. This experience of happiness is throughout the body. It's not imaginary. This is state of happiness. Okay? That is so much deeper, so much more profound, so much intense. So inside, this happiness is not restricted to your skull, but it's the whole body is happy. And it's deeper, number one. What about outside? Outside? Doesn't matter what you are, where you are, who you are, what you have, what you don't have. You still feel happy. You're in the hells, you still feel happy. That's why bodhisattvas don't mind going down to the hells and save hells beings because they're still happy in the hells. Remember, bodhisattvas are not stupid. They have wisdom. They would not go down to the hells and suffer. That's not very smart, is it? That's not very wise. Okay? So wherever you are, whether you're with God or not, you're still happy. Hey, are you impressed? You have to be near your God to be happy, Daniel. Us, the first ground bodhisattva, he's happy when he's near God, he's happy. And when he's so far away from God, he's still happy. So this happiness here is not dependent on the outside world at all. Wherever he is, wherever she is, whatever happens, they're still happy. That's why I said I use the word wonderful happiness, incomparable happiness. Questions? Very good. Yeah. Of course, it's not something you can ask. You have to experience it. So far, so good? Yes? Black.
Master, from that moment on, do they get retreat, or do they always get better and more refined when that person first enter the ground of happiness?
What? Repeat the question. A few words
So from the
drop
moment
out here and there.
from the moment that being become enlightened, they dwell to the crown of happiness, would they get retreat back, or from that moment on they will always get better?
They go what?
Would always get better.
Always get better? Well, you find out yourself. I don't know. I'm trying to get a little bit further myself. Okay? And then, oh, cute. Go ahead. Someone is awake in Northern California. You know, what's the temperature in Korea now? And the time in Korea is, oh, by the way, go ahead, go for it.
Master, you mentioned before sometimes about when you end suffering. Is that the same here? Is that the first ground bodhisattva or the
what?
fourth stage Dharma?
When you end what?
Of suffering. End of suffering.
End suffering is the fourth stage Arhat. You end suffering.
Okay. Thank you, Master. And then the second question is the name for the first dhyana is Li Shen Xi Le Di.
The happiness from leaving field. That's different.
No, the dhyana. I was translating the Chan handbook, and then I remember the name for first dhyana is also, they have kind of similar wordings about happiness, and then also in your explanation there's some mentioning of that as well.
Very good. Very good. First dhyana is different. It's also you experience happiness because you're leaving filth. You're leaving the afflictions. You're living the world of afflictions in the desire realm. You are in the desire realm like normal people. They have a lot of afflictions, okay, and that's part of their lives. They accept it. They say, "Oh, this is a human condition." But if you practice meditation or you follow some spiritual practices, you happen to enter first dhyana, okay? Then you end certain kinds of afflictions. And that's when you feel this kind of happiness because of the lack of afflictions. In Buddhism, we're very, very, very scientific about it. People, the world, only see happiness as getting what you want. But actually, in Buddhism, we try to teach you happiness is also lack of afflictions. You're happier because you have fewer afflictions. And that's the nature of happiness in Buddhism. In Buddhism, when we use the word happiness, if you really truly you really understand Buddhism, by the way, okay, then the happiness in Buddhism comes from having fewer afflictions. not more afflictions. People like Daniel, they call themselves happier because they buy a new car. So now the happiness depends on this attachment to a new car, which gets old within 1 or 2 months and no longer smells new. That's when you say, oh, my car is old. You know, my husband is old, he's losing his hair. My wife has more wrinkles on her forehead. One more line. I have more gray hair in my temples. See? So, worldly people, they mistake happiness. They don't understand happiness. They think they're happier because they have something more, which actually you have something more creates attachments. At the same time, creates unhappiness, unmatured happiness, undetected happiness. So far, so good? Yes, Christian. Yeah, black.
I think one priest said that a long time ago, he told me that the happiness in this world is just you becoming aware that you're a slave to the material things.
Translation. Go ahead, Thu Ha. Okay, we're going to have 4-way translation from now on. There is Vietnamese, there is Chinese, there is what else? Korean, and also there is Christian. The Koreans don't find it funny.
A long time ago, a priest said to me that if you get happy because of the material things or just because of the world, it means that you are a slave to the world. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Purple.
So a long time ago, a priest explained to me that if you depend on material things to be happy, then you're a slave to the world.
You're a sage?
Slave.
A slave to the world.
Yes. If you depend on material things to make you happy, then you're pretty much a slave.
So what did you ask him? So is he happy or not?
I believe that he is actually has true happiness.
No, you don't believe. You should ask. Because here's my point. Words are cheap. If you say happiness because of external things, then you're a slave to the world. The question is, are you happy? It's not just words. Words are meaningless. I don't know about you, sir. I look for happiness, real happiness. Okay? I'm not looking for concepts. I want that feeling, sir, where I feel happy. Right? I'm not talking about her happiness. You know, in Chicago, you know what they're happy about? Deep dish pizza. Yuck. Go figure. You know, they're so, oh, I miss my deep dish pizza. Yuck. You know. But it's still unhappiness, you know, like the joy you have from eating a good meal, from spending time with your friends and loved ones. That's happiness, okay? An experience. It's not a concept, sir. Here's my problem with that answer, okay? If he thinks like that, then if he really understands that, then he wouldn't remain a father. a priest because they don't have the technology on how to experience happiness that's free from external things. No such technology. I'm sorry, except outside of Buddhism, there's no such technology. Yes.
I disagree.
Huh?
I disagree.
Of course. What else is new? But we're still friends, aren't we? Friends disagree sometimes. But doesn't make me less right. The Koreans are so distraught. They said, why does this guy speak Dharma so funny? Yes, purport.
Master, this is coming from a past Catholic. I have to agree with you because for my personal experience, I have everything. I believe I have done everything that this world can desire. From success in my career, from having to own a company. I travel pretty much around the world.
Wait. Did you? Inhale?
No.
See, she lied. I caught her immediately. She says, I experience everything that people call happiness in this world. I said, what about inhaling like President Clinton?
Well, actually, I tried that 3 times, and it didn't make me any happy. It just made me eat.
Try Colombian, great. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I have to go to my local apothecary and check a little bit. I tell you, the first time I experienced that, the secretary of the group next door, we went out to lunch, and she's like in her 20, she was 21 years old, and this is in Midwest. She's as white as a sheet of bedspread, and so she gave me she gave me something to inhale. I inhaled, and the first inhalation, I was so happy. I giggled the rest of the afternoon. Never mind. It's something you don't forget. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay, Master. I inhaled 3 times. It didn't do anything. So I tried edible 1 time, and it almost killed me. So that was my experience with trying to get happy. So the only time that I really feel happy and peaceful is when I'm here and, give up everything, my comfortable house, my custom-made, everything that I thought I want, leave everything behind and come here and sleep in this Buddha Ha in my sleeping bed and meditate. And that's when I experience bliss and fulfill, and it's just the most profound experience I can ever have.
Mm-hmm. You see, Christian, it's 2 to 1. You're outnumbered. Thank you for sharing with us. Okay, I used to be so happy with deep dish pizza, by the way. I said, wow, this is fantastic pizza. Until I tried Neapolitan. And I said, deep dish pizza? Yuck. Agree or disagree? Huh? See? A Chicago gangster agreed with me. No, she actually Chicago police woman. I like to call her. She has a badge. Police. Okay. Yes. You see, this is what the problem I have with Mr. Christian. That is, your side, people are very eloquent. They know, this eloquence here is so remarkable. Okay? And it's fantastic. It has wisdom there. However, from our perspective, the difference, sir, is that I look at you. When you talk like that, I say, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You understand? It's something that you have experienced internally. It's not an intellectual concept. Eloquence is from the intellect. We're talking about a personal experience. You feel it with all the pores of your body. Yes, sir.
Well, it is my. I used to experience true happiness, but
until you met your girlfriend.
No, until I start questioning it. And after I start questioning my faith and the belief of God, that's when I stopped my true happiness. But because I wanted to question everything, so that's how. But I don't know how to explain that happiness. I cannot explain it.
I am glad you brought it up. This guy is good. No one, I like him. Oh, the girlfriend is here. He just said, I'm so happy with my girlfriend. Oh, she was listening. Oh, shucks. Got red-handed again. Oh, it's part of us. It's a French Avatamsaka. We lie to our teeth. Because we try to make you happy. I'm glad you brought it up, sir. This ground of happiness, this happy feeling you have, you never lose it. Never. Whereas the happiness in the world, they're happy with pizza, and then later they move to California and say, oh, this is better pizza. So they're no longer happy with the past. You get my point? Okay? That's what I meant by the fact that that priest of yours doesn't know what he's talking about. This happiness here, this ground, the people of the ground of happiness, first ground, they're happy with Chicago pizza, with California pizza, New York pizza, doesn't matter, they're happy. It's kind of cool. You happy no matter what. So that's why wherever you go, you spread the happiness to your beloved girlfriend. To your children. Because, remember, this happiness is from so deep in your core that outside, you may be yelling, you may be so involved, but actually inside, you're very, very happy. It doesn't change inside. It's a constant state of happiness, no matter what. That is what we call true independence of external world. Yes, someone raise your hand, yes. Try back there first. Remember French? Ladies first. Yes.
Master, as Daniel said, he just have so many questions. As far as questions, I used to have zillion of questions. I question everything. But then these days, all the questions just dissolve. I don't have any questions, and I just accept everything as they come. Yesterday, I went hiking, and then somebody was suddenly get very upset at me because I'm not wearing a mask while climbing up the mountain. And then my friends who came with me, the way that the other person attacked me, they get very mad and they start yelling back at the person. But then to me, it's the yelling was nothing. I'm just like, okay, so I'm not wearing a mask, and sorry, and that's it. And it doesn't even bother me at all.
I used to have an ex-disciple who is the daughter of my second disciple, okay, here in the US. My first disciple being a bird. He brought his daughter, his beloved daughter, over, and she to learn Chan meditation from me, and within 2 weeks she went from 0 to second dhyana immediately. Okay, this woman is so fast, so she says she told me about how happy she was and so forth. And then she says, well, this is kind of cool, like I'm happy, but I'm also very happy, okay, inhaling. So my point being that, Thu Ha, you're missing out on life. Yes, Green. Let's not give her a chance to destroy my theory. Yes.
When I was in like high school or something, I really wanted to be really cool. I wanted to be the coolest person. And I realized that if I was just happy all the time, then people would like me a lot. So I tried to do that, but I could never find anything that could really make me really happy all the time until I found this, and I don't
you found
think
pain.
Yeah, but even through the pain, it's not like I'm like not happy, I feel like I could be happy all the time because of this practice that I've found,
Yeah.
And this is really the only thing I've found that could do that. I used to do all sorts of things. I tried a bunch of stuff to be happy because I really, really wanted to be happy all the time. This is the only thing I've found that I feel like there's a promise for me to actually be able to be happy all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyone else? Koreans, do you have any experience you'd like to share with us? The Koreans are so serious. They say, Look at them. Can you see them on the screen? You see how serious they are? Okay. Lucky we are fun-loving people in the US of A. Yes, Jewel Mountain, question.
And Jewel Mountain asks, when you reach first ground, then you don't have any problems anymore?
You don't have any problems anymore. Clearly, this person hasn't reached the first ground yet. Not quite. Let me put it this way. The problems cannot destroy your happiness. How's that? People of the world, they're happy. Yes? They're in love, they're happy. Until the wives told them to take out the garbage. Okay? Whereas a first ground bodhisattva would be happy, and the wife says, I don't love you anymore, I want to leave you. He's still happy. Say, oh, good golly, I'm going to be so much happier now. Just a joke. See, Koreans are not even laughing. So serious, the Koreans. Hey, yeah. But anyway, they're all women. No men back there? No men? Any men over there? Raise your hand. One man? He'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, you see that? So the happiness here, okay? Okay, so anyway, we don't want to dwell too long. If we dwell too long, it sounds like we're bragging. Then the Christian will be very jealous. Yes, girlfriend. If you hang around long enough, I begin to recognize you. You will start having labels or nicknames. Yes, purple.
Well, let's get to sadness. Master, you always say, everyone say they're happy when they're in here, especially Thu Ha, and you said how important it is to sit and listen to Dharma. So my problem is I was suffering so much, and every time I'm in here, I suffer so much, especially with last week with the Avatamsaka talk or something. So I was just crying for the whole 2 hours. The whole time my mind was like, I want to go out. I don't want to be here. So can you help me? So do you have a way for me to be here and be happy and not wanting to run out?
Yes, I'd be happy to help. Not. I don't know how to help. I want to stay happy. How's that? Sometimes helping people is so unhappy. I'm sorry, good luck, kid. Try God or something, I don't know. We don't know how to make everyone happy. Sometimes you have to be unhappy so that you can be happy. Hey, does it sound good, Christian? Hey, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's stop. Let's move on. Shall we move on? I can stay here for a while if you like. Huh? No? Do you want to move on? Okay. And then it gets better. You move on to the second ground called ground of leaving filth. Okay? The second ground, bodhisattva, okay, naturally doesn't want to do ikia things. Naturally. He kind of lost interest in ikia things. Naturally. Okay? And it goes back to the concept, what I said earlier. Happiness comes from having fewer afflictions. And here we're learning that filth is, what is filth to the bodhisattva? Anyone? What's filth to a bodhisattva? Very good. You learned the lesson. Don't raise your hands. Idiots. Okay, let the Koreans raise their hands. Koreans, what is filth to the bodhisattva? Do you know? They're looking at each other, the Koreans say, you go first. No, after you. Hey, the daughter looks better and better. What's the matter with her? Look at that. She's prettier. She's actually happier. What happened? She left filth. The bodhisattva, filth is You heard it before. Come on. Symptom? What's filth? To a bodhisattva. When I name you, you can answer. I don't name you, don't answer. I call on your name, answer. Isn't there a song by Madonna that says, I hear you call my name? Huh? Okay, so what is filth to a bodhisattva? You didn't get it? I told you, I didn't call you. Do not raise your hands. Yes, Orange.
Hello. Nobody home?
Nobody home. Toc toc.
Hello, hello.
Orange.
Hello, there you go. What it feel to do to the bodhisattva? Really, I don't know.
You don't know. Why do you have to answer? You don't know. Just shake your head. Yes, Christian has an idea.
I thought bodhisattvas do not see any filth.
Thu Ha, translation. What are you doing, Thu Ha? Concentrate, please. I'm buying time. I don't know how to answer him. Yes, go ahead, translation. Christian translation. Repeat, she says. She wasn't paying attention.
I thought that bodhisattvas do not see any filth in people.
I don't know what he's talking. Hey, girlfriend, translation. Why don't you move back with her? No, it's filth. Filth. This is the proper spelling. It's dirty, yeah. Yeah, dirty. Okay.
I thought bodhisattvas do not see any dirtiness in anybody.
But they still have a concept of filth. Bodhisattva understand filth and non-filth. You know, they're not dead. Okay? Yes, Black.
So then you said he doubt if the bodhisattva ever see filth.
Yeah, they see filth. They're not stupid. They can recognize filth. Okay? They're not dead. Yes, Green.
Would filth in this context be considered afflictions or suffering or obstructions?
Excellent. To a bodhisattva, affliction is filth. We're not talking about dirty hands here. We're talking about affliction. Afflictions are considered filth to a bodhisattva. If you're afflicted, your mind is filthy. It's filth in your mind. That's what the bodhisattva says. I do not like to be afflicted. I don't care if they waste water or what else do they waste nowadays? Electricity. Okay, I won't get afflicted. I don't care, because getting afflicted is filthy. Being right is filthy. All right? So, this bodhisattva on second ground, they don't get afflicted. They avoid afflictions. They avoid getting afflicted. Yes, Joe Mountain.
Jewel Mountain asks, I don't know about happiness. The happiness of the enlightened one mentioned in Mahayana. To me, success, love, and so on, those are happiness. So how do I quit them and pursue happiness in Buddhism?
Oh, I love to help, but I don't know the other happiness. How can I possibly teach you how to quit that and go over here? Eventually you figure it out, don't worry, okay? You hang around long enough, you figure it out. Like Thu Ha, she eventually will experience that inhalation pleasure, right? The inhalation nirvana, paradise, okay? You hang around long enough, you will experience everything. Don't worry, okay? We don't reject anything. But yes, Black.
Like you say, Master, just don't give up.
Don't give up. There you go. Keep on doing chant. Okay? So there's one thing that's kind of peculiar about the second ground bodhisattva. And one prime example, very famous example, is Pope John Paul II. Because Christian is here today, I'm going to rub it in a little bit. What happened is the second ground bodhisattva, part of their spiritual practice is to go help out the Christians. Believe it or not. Yeah, they want to help the Christians. For some reason, the second ground bodhisattvas, for their spiritual practices, they love to help the Christians. Isn't that cool? So that's why the people who reject Christians are not enlightened yet. You see that? Because you really enlighten, you say, oh, I love Christians. They're beautiful people. Very special. And that's why they come over and help them out. You don't believe me. I know, it's okay. So a lot of second ground bodhisattvas, part of the spiritual practice, they go and become the Christian God in the second desire heaven. Okay? Or they do the next best thing, becoming a pope like John Paul II. That's how they help Christianity. If you look at what John Paul II did with Christianity, it's revolutionary. Revolutionary. No better word for it. He changed so many things for the better. Okay? And long-lasting changes. It's another wave coming. That's all I can tell you. Okay? Okay, so the second ground bodhisattva likes purity, doesn't like filth. It's like distances herself from afflictions, from filth. Okay? We're not talking about dust. They're not like obsessive cleaners, or they are always vacuuming the carpet. Okay? No. It's just they avoid afflictions. They're not interested, you know. So far, so good. And because they avoid afflictions, what happens is their happiness increases, okay, and more pervasive, more frequent. So it actually, from 1 to 2, it gets better, in other words. So far, so good. Number 3, the ground of emitting light. The third ground bodhisattva, his light is so bright that it scares the demons. Okay? Wherever he is, this light is so frightening. The demons have nowhere to hide. That's why they're frightened of this third ground bodhisattva. Okay? How can you emit light like a third ground bodhisattva? Koreans. Fourth time today. Give me an answer. Any answer. Don't just ask questions. Give me an answer. How can you emit light? More light. Okay, let's give up on the Koreans. They're a little bit, newcomers, so we understand. It's okay, hang in there. Yes, Blackie.
Master, I think if we keep sitting and keep contemplating, turning inward, then eventually we'll emit light.
No. Next. Anyone else? Cube.
Being pure, virtuous.
What?
Being virtuous, purity.
Virtuous. Who else? Come on, local Korean. Anyone else? How can you emit light? Yes, girlfriend.
Oh, enter samadhi. When a person enters samadhi.
Enter samadhi, yes, it's true.
I have
Enter samadhi, you emit light, that's true.
I have a question too.
Okay, go ahead, question 2.
I heard of a real story that there was a girl in a church. Somebody knew a girl. This girl, she's a Christian believer, but she emits so much light that the person would be so scared to look at her. And so, do you have an explanation why the person could emit so much light?
This is in the church?
In the church.
Like ours? Or
Not
different?
ours, in a Catholic church.
In a Catholic church?
Yes.
Sorry, we don't comment on the competition. Yes, Ju, mount question.
Jumi asks, is a third ground bodhisattva in Korea?
No comment. What's with these people? They don't want to cultivate. They want to know, is there a third ground bodhisattva? Be one yourself. Anyone else? If it's not there, we send someone over. How's that? Yes, Black.
Master, one day, Venerable Senran and I, we meditate overnight. I fall asleep, but then Venerable Senran keep meditating. And in the morning, when we wake up, I suddenly saw her so bright. She emits so much light. And I was not the only one who saw it. David saw it too.
David saw it too?
Yeah.
Was the light on?
It's an inner light, Master.
The green light. That's got to be the green light.
Inner light.
Inner light cannot be green.
Didn't say green, Master.
Okay, well,
Her inner light emitted. She was so bright.
sometimes it's green. I don't know. I mean, you have to be there. Okay, so this person here emits light, so it scares the ghosts and the demons. You see, I tried to tell you, in Mahayana, we are not afraid of ghosts and demons. They're afraid of us. There's no way, once you get these grounds, that you become afraid of the ghosts and the demons. No such a thing. They are afraid of you, especially when you get the third ground, bodhisattva. They're so frightened by the brightness that you emit. You are so scary because you're so bright. Okay? Yes, Christian.
I was the person that was so scared of that person that emitted light.
At the risk of being repetitive, yes.
Daniel was the person who saw the person that emitted light.
So there are three of you.
He was afraid.
You are dreaming. No way. All right. Anyone else? Any Jewel Mountain question? The Koreans don't have answers. They only have questions. Go ahead.
Jewel Mountain asks, if we go to America, can we become a third ground bodhisattva quicker than being in Korea?
Yes. But there's no visa for such people. Okay, Jewel Mountain. Hey, Master Z, have them eat American food for a change. We can start with that. No more Korean food at Jewel Mountain Temple. Okay, from now on, it's all burgers and fries, and macaroni and cheese and pizza. No kimchi, okay? Absolutely no kimchi, no Korean food. All right. Number 4. The fourth ground bodhisattva is called the ground of blazing wisdom. Blazing wisdom is the wisdom that is so shiny. What kind of wisdom is so shining? The shining wisdom is wisdom from what? Knowledge. This person is so erudite. In Buddhism, history of Buddhism, Venerable Nagarjuna, Dragon Tree Bodhisattva, is a fourth ground Bodhisattva. The fourth ground Bodhisattva spiritual practice, okay, is they appear in the world. Remember, the second ground Bodhisattva, they appear in the world to, quite often, help the Christians. So who knows, maybe Daniel is one of them. He's over here to refresh his memory, and then he goes back home, and then he starts, preaching. All right? So second ground Bodhisattva, they love the Christians. They love, Mormonism. They love all those people, okay? Judaism and so forth, okay? The fourth ground Bodhisattva, they appear in the world in order to add to the knowledge of the world. In particular, wisdom. They increased the wisdom, worldly wisdom. So they practice erudition. They're very knowledgeable. And what you notice in the history of Buddhism, Nagarjuna, he brought something called this Avatamsaka Sutra, which is the highest level Buddhist wisdom. You know that? What we are studying is actually the highest, the most profound, is the wisdom among the wisdom of the wisdom. Okay? The king of the wisdom. Nothing higher. So that's why Nagarjuna came to our world specifically. One of his primary goals was to bring up the Avatamsaka Sutra from the Dragon King Palace to our realm. Bring over the highest level wisdom to our world. Isn't it beautiful? And for that alone, he deserves to be called a patriarch in Buddhism, because that kind of work is incredible, is unparalleled. Okay, Jewel Mountain question. Today they have a lot of questions.
Jumi asks, what is the role of the third ground bodhisattva in Korea?
I don't know. Why do you stop at 3? Why don't you go to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Well, you Koreans are so small thinkers. I'm asking you, why do you stop at 3? Go to 5 at least. So far, from what I know, the highest level you achieved so far is 4. The next one, ground of blazing wisdom. The ground blazing wisdom. That's 4. Okay? Why don't you go to 5? Why do you insist on having 3 only? You come to Korea, you come to the US, eat a lot of our burgers, and you only want to reach third ground bodhisattva? Good Lord. If you want to stay in third ground bodhisattva, you have to go to the Midwest. Illinois. But on the coast, California, New York, we prefer to be a little bit higher. Yes. We're bragging, of course, we Californians. Yes.
A few weeks ago, we talked about the paramitas, and the 10th paramita is knowledge. But here, the 4th paramita, the 4th ground, seems to be what you would call the 10th paramita of knowledge. And I think when you were talking about the 10 paramitas, you said something about them having to do with each paramita, each number 1, 2, 3 to 10 had to do with one of the grounds. Is that true? And if so, why is the 4th ground and the 10th paramita so similar?
It's different. Different. We're talking about contribution to the world. Okay, the 4th ground is that he wants to add more knowledge and wisdom to the world. So he practices erudition. Okay, meaning that he's into books, he's into studies, he's very knowledgeable over a lot of things. He's what we might call the Renaissance Bodhisattva. He knows everything. He loves to learn about everything. Whereas the 9th, is it 9th? No, the 10th paramita is more like advancing knowledges. Okay? He's like the inventor. He's like the Einstein. He's like the geniuses. Yes, Green.
So do the 10 grounds correspond directly to the 10 paramitas? Like 1 matches to 1, 2 to 2, up to 10?
Yeah, something like that. There's a lot of different angles you can look at it. Don't worry, okay? Don't worry. There's so many ways to look at it, and depending on your pathways. Sometimes you go this way, sometimes you go this way, and so forth. Okay, depending on your conditions, depending on your teacher as well. Sometimes your teacher doesn't know, so he has to tell you only what he knows. But the 84,000 Dharma doors. Okay, we don't have 84,000 Dharma doors. Last year we went up to 10,000, right? Now it's 30,000, so we're working on it. So it's many ways to dice it. Okay. YouTube has a question.
Tango asks, were Da Vinci, Socrates, and Plato enlightened beings or bodhisattvas since they brought knowledge to the world?
Nah. Their philosophy is too shallow. Sorry. They are not enlightened beings. Because their theories are way too shallow, lacking depth. This morning we have a Chan class. I explained to you people that knowledge has 2 different dimensions, breadth and depth. Depth comes from wisdom. Okay? And I'm sorry, but the Greek philosophers are not deep enough. The teachings are way too shallow. Okay? But good question. Number 5, ground of difficult conquest. Okay? Jewel Mountain comment.
Jewel Mountain says, when I work as a counselor to help people with serious ghost problems, they don't provoke me or I don't sink anymore. I believe this is because of my samadhi level. I feel it's thanks to Master, Jewel Mountain Temple, and I believe the 3rd ground is protecting us.
What 3rd ground? No. We, 3rd ground too low for us. But that's a good thing. Number 5, the ground of difficult conquest. What does this bodhisattva does? What does he do? He goes and acts like samurais. Kill! You go near them, they will kill you. It's very difficult to defeat the 5th ground, bodhisattva. Okay, who you are. Okay? They're like the samurais of the bodhisattvas. You give them a samurai sword, and then go and kill. You pick a fight with Mahayana, we send you 5th ground bodhisattva. How's that, Koreans? Instead of staying 3rd or 4th, go to 5th and beat the demons. Because they are so good at fighting, okay, that we send them to conquer Korea, Vietnam, Taiwan, Europe, Illinois, huh? We need a lot more of the fifth ground bodhisattvas to send them all over and colonize. You see, in Buddhism, we're very precise. We don't send a second ground bodhisattva to go out and conquer and colonize, do we? We wait. He said, got to be at least fifth. Below fifth? No, let's keep him home where he's safe. Christian is so jealous. He says, these guys talk funny. Yeah, giggler. Go ahead, give him a microphone. Go.
Master, is this why you sent Venerable Shinchu to Korea?
I'm not saying. But in Buddhism, we're very precise. There's a role for everyone. That's why we have the full spectrum. Each one does something. Okay? Okay? So if you can't do anything, hide behind four walls in your monastery until you're ready. Okay? We have plenty of people. Okay? So this fifth ground, if you call, I like to think of them as warriors. Or if you watch movies, double daredevils. What's her name? Jennifer Garner? Huh? Love movies. Koreans, you're missing out so much in life. Okay, so we have these warriors. We set out, okay, and colonize, okay, and then we send our monks over when it's safe. Oh, by the way, Koreans, you don't understand. In my temple, the girls are better than the boys. So the girls are samurais, the boys are ninjas. So we send the girls out first, okay? Have them fight and conquer. And then when it's safe, we send the boys out. Does that answer your question, boy? I have an answer for everything. Okay, for everyone. Number 6, the ground of manifestations. Manifestations. Why you have manifestations? Because you know what to manifest. Okay? So this bodhisattva here is what I call the Buddhist God. Hey, are you paying attention, Daniel? Okay? He knows what to manifest, where to manifest the miracles, where to manifest earthquakes, where to manifest angels, and so forth. Okay? Manifestations. Number 7, traveling far. Bodhisattva, the ground of traveling far. This person here. Okay? He is very difficult to pin down. That's why he travels very far. He can go and go and go like to energize a rabbit. No one's smiling. Oh, good Lord. I don't know how you live your life. Okay, traveling far. Okay. And number 8, the ground of non-moving. What's the ground non-moving? You can't budge this person. He says, "Oh, mistress, you're so wonderful." "Mistress, you're so evil." "Mistress," I'm referring to my bodhisattvas, of course. "Mistress, you won the super lotto." It's very difficult to get this person excited or depressed, for that matter. Anyone who has depression? Yeah. It's because you're not there yet. Once you get there, what depression? What unhappiness? What are you talking about? Why are you so unhappy? That's the solution. You hear me? Okay? When you get here, you find solution for all your unhappiness. Look at that, the girl. She says, "Oh, Master's lecture is so interesting. I hope he doesn't call on me. Whereas, I need some milk. Where's mommy?" Right behind you, girl. Okay? So, in the Shastras, this is Chinese. Koreans don't be like this. The Chinese, they tell each other, the 8th-ground bodhisattva, the ground not moving is the same as 4th-stage arhat. So wrong. Let them be Chinese. Let the Chinese be Chinese. Nothing can be further from the truth. A 4th-ground bodhisattva is like that girl right there with her fingers, sucking on her fingers, compared to the 8th-ground bodhisattva. Yes, you too.
Master, as the bodhisattva continues to go higher, can they also perform the tasks of lower grounds if needed?
Of course. Just like that. Why so? That's right, honey. Because I agree. Because they've done it already. They did it already. It's like you asking me, can I ask you an algebra question? I said, of course. What grade? I can go up to 8th grade algebra. 9th, I don't remember anymore. You understand? It's of course. What's the big deal? Okay, so all those people in Taiwan, in China, and they say the 8th-ground bodhisattva is the same level as a 4th-stage arhat. Baloney. Stay in China. Number 9, the ground of good wisdom. These names are very meaningful. Christian, why is it called good wisdom? Just to test you. Christian goes like this. Why is it called good wisdom? Right. Yeah. Huh? This person knows what? Excuse me. Knows what? Yes, Green.
This person must be a master of goodness.
Master of goodness. No. Yeah.
It's good wisdom because it's not bad wisdom.
Go back to Honduras. God. This guy is too much. Okay. Good wisdom is because he can do a lot of good. Tremendous amount of good. Tremendous. He's like Mr. Mr. Goodness. Yeah, Black.
What is the difference between blazing wisdom and good wisdom?
Blazing wisdom here is because of the diligence. This guy works very hard. Okay, in acquiring wisdom. Good wisdom here refers to the fact that he's capable of doing a lot of good. Okay, so 1 at 4 is basically knowledge. 9 is basically muscle. 1 is intellect. The other is biceps. Oops, not this one. Arnold, if you will. Okay. Number 10. The ground Dharma cloud. This guy, okay, knows at least 84,000 Dharma doors. At least. That's why his Dharma doors are as numerous as the clouds in the sky. See, baby girl laughs. Yeah, I like that. That's beautiful, isn't it? Huh? The Dharma doors are as beautiful as the clouds in the sky. Huh? And then, and it twirls around like a Sufi dance. Okay, never mind. I'm getting distracted. Anyone? Any questions? So each bodhisattva, okay, have their own specialties. And it's cool. This is when it's so much fun. Yes, you too.
Tiango asks, could Master give an example of good wisdom?
Good wisdom? For example, he, I don't know. Let me think about what kind of example of good wisdom. You guys help me out, huh? What would be an example of good wisdom? Yes, Kath.
Becoming Catholic?
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Green.
Knowing how to cure people of coronavirus.
Sounds good. It's better than becoming Christian. Yes, anyone else? It's the wisdom that gives you the ability to do good. You know how to do good. You know when to do good. Okay? And I don't know of any example because I don't know what I'm talking about. How's that for answer? Okay? That's right. All right. Anyone else? Any other questions? Yes, girlfriend.
You mentioned that second ground bodhisattvas like to go to the Christian side and serve them. Now, like, for example, we have John Paul II. So does that mean all those Christians who knows John Paul II or like him or praise him or know him automatically created a Buddhist seed that they would eventually become a Buddhist?
No. They don't have to become Buddhists. When we help the Christians, we don't tell them we're Buddhists. If we tell them we're Buddhists, then they would not like us. They would reject our help. So this is the problem this is the thing with the bodhisattvas. We among ourselves talk like this, but when we see a Christian, we say, "Oh, I love you, Christian," that kind of thing. So we're not attached to labels. Why do you have to worry about calling Buddhist or Christian or Mormon or whatever? As long as you're good, you're doing good, it's good enough for us. Okay? Yes, Joe Mountain.
Jumi asks, who are you, Master? Are you a transformation body of Shakyamuni Buddha? If not, Guanyin or Earth Store transformation body who saves poor living beings between Shakyamuni and Maitreya Buddha?
I love this. How can I answer it? Your guess is as good as mine. Answers, I wish. Now I'm depressed. You Koreans are so blunt. Good Lord. In the US, just for your information, we have something called modesty. Vietnamese is kỳ quá. You know what kỳ quá in Vietnamese means? Translation, Vietnamese people. Huh? What's English for kỳ quá? Huh? Thua. She has her new nickname, Thua.
I have no idea, Master.
Kỳ quá. Huh? Huh? Oh, there you go. You heard him.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah. Nonsense.
Oh, nonsense.
Don't talk like that. Kỳ quá. I'm really humble. I'm very humble. Please. I don't deserve it. Yes.
Copying the Korean. So, Master, what is the highest bodhisattva we have in the United States right now? Not about you, Master.
What's the answer? Kỳ quá. We have a lot of jargons, Koreans, in the U.S. You better learn some Vietnamese, because sometimes we can't express it. It cannot be translated. Kỳ quá. Yes, Cube.
Master, when those Buddhas come back in their transformation in body, can they be in different levels of different grounds of bodhisattvas, or are they always the highest one?
They can be at any level they wish you to learn. So, for example, they could appear as a second ground bodhisattva. So they restrict themselves to doing the stuff for second ground bodhisattva only. Okay? They don't venture out of that. They don't go into emitting light, blazing wisdom, and so forth. Does that help? So it's just like you have this bag of things. You have a lot of money, and you choose only to show people that you're a millionaire, for example. Okay? So it's your decision, your choice. Yes, Drew Mountain.
Jumi says, Master knows our levels, but I don't know your level.
The CIA does. Kỳ quá. Today we have a new expression. Kỳ quá. Okay? Can we record it as Dharma glimpse? Kỳ quá. All right, I have 6 more minutes. Yes? Oh no, troublemaker.
Master, I have 2 questions.
I hope you go east. I hope you move east.
Thank you, Master.
Go ahead.
My first question is, we still have the equal enlightenment crowd level and wonderful enlightenment level. My master speak of that level so we can plant the blessing, plant the seed so that we can one day attain that. And my second question was, if this bodhisattva from 1 to 10 was to manifest themselves as a Buddha, do they possess the wisdom as a Buddha themselves?
Okay, good questions. I don't know. Move. Yeah. Go ahead.
If they are only at the bodhisattva level, can they really manifest themselves as a Buddha?
Yes, they can. It's a good question. You can. Because what happened is, he can appear to a Buddha to you. He cannot fool us. You understand?
Oh, so to me, they could, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
He appears, look like the Buddha back here and say, whoa, and the girlfriend says, oh, we're one. That's all they want from you, okay?
So it only works for me.
For the purpose, because sometimes you believe the Buddha more than you believe me.
So it doesn't work for master.
Yeah, you don't want to look like me. Okay, very good. Yeah. And the first question is, what about equal enlightenment and wonderful enlightenment? I don't know. Next. Shall we move on? We're gossiping. You guys are incredible. We gossip for almost 2 hours. You love it. Everyone is wide awake. Yes, purple.
When Well, when Buddha spoke the Lotus Sutra, he didn't want to speak it. He said because if somebody slander it, the trouble is way more too much, so it's not worth it to speak. Now, what about for the Avatamsaka Sutra? Is it higher than the Lotus Sutra, or
Yes.
so they would
higher.
get into even more trouble?
No. He spoke it, but you can't hear it until today. He spoke it for the bodhisattvas only. And after that, they said, wow, this is so wonderful. And he didn't speak for the human realm, so they took it down. Okay? To hide it. It's not for human ears. And that's why we all should be grateful to Nagarjuna Bodhisattva, that patriarch, he says, now it's time for the human realm to know about this. Okay? To learn about this. So without him, there's no way for us to encounter this wonderful sutra. Okay? And without it, okay, you will never learn about the details of these 10 grounds bodhisattvas. There's a lack of details about these bodhisattvas in any of the sutra. That's why I went a little bit more time. I spent a little bit more time for you to kind of whet your appetite. It's a lot more. You can't cover this in just 2 hours. It's not enough. One ground would take forever to talk to you. Any ground. Remember, when we go to chapter 39, good wealth bodhisattva, the young kid, he would spend millions of years perfecting one ground. That's a lot to talk about. But lucky for you, you don't need to spend millions of years. We have something else for your listening pleasure called what? 6 patriarchs. He says, boys and girls. Okay? YongHua is too old. He can't wait for you to become enlightened. So we have to teach you certain teaching. My master didn't teach it for them. Okay? So I waited and waited and waited until I can't wait anymore. I have to teach you. Otherwise, the 6 patriarch teaching would be lost. Yeah.
Level was good wealth bodhisattva.
He became a Buddha.
At the Avatamsaka Sutra,
Yeah.
after he went through the 53, then he became a Buddha.
Yeah. I think. I'm not there, so I don't know. It's a happy ending. That's all I remember. To me, happy ending is when you become a Buddha. It's sort of like, you chew and you don't swallow. Oh, yuck. Or you take a glass of wine and you just sniff it and then you... God, that's disgusting. I would swallow. You know? Then we're not drinking wine, are we? We're breaking precepts. with fear. And listen, that's why you listen the way I talk, you know I'm not even 3, not even 2. My mind is so filthy. I'm thinking of wine all the time. And at least Thu Ha is purer than I am. She's immune to it. Okay. It's fun to joke around with you and make fun of the Christians. Next time we'll pick it up from 154. Okay? Thank you all. And Koreans, go back to bed. Oh no, is it time yet? What is the time over there? World time. Stop asking me. 10 p.m.? Lisbon is 10 p.m. Seoul is 7 a.m. Jewel Mountain, answer. Yes.
30 in the morning.
What 30 in the morning?
7:30.
7:30 in the morning. So they got up at 5:30. We started at 5:30, their local time. These Koreans are weird. They get up this early on the weekend. That's too much. Hey, Master Z, tell them to take it easy. Don't work so hard. Have some more American food. It's easier. Okay, thank you everyone. Sayonara. Okay, thank you.